Ta-da! Here we are.
Hey,
The
guys.
wonders of modern technology.
Yeah.
We're
So
5 minutes late because you can't make an entrance if you're on time. You know that's my motto.
Yes.
And because Lyle was checking on things that are broken.
Yeah.
Which we're going to get to. I promise.
I've got a GoPro, like one of those clamp things, you know?
Yeah,
I've got my phone GoPro clamped to my rearview mirror.
Nice.
That's an ingenuitive mind.
That's what we call that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm doing some checking right now. So today is Tuesday. So no Powerball tonight, right? But
None.
Mega Millions is tonight, is that right?
I thought Mega Millions was Wednesday too.
No, Mega Millions is tonight.
That's a big one.
10:12. And then Powerball is tomorrow. So how late can you buy tickets? Apparently that's like the #1 search thing. Let's see. Because this is important, people. If we win to the $811 million, dude. Oh, it's on. Like, let me tell you.
My first question would be, how long would we live?
Oh, dude. I know. It really might be. Yeah. Tickets for tonight's Mega Millions are until 10:45. Oh, then we got plenty of time. So I'm going to go buy tickets after we're done with the show.
Yes.
And you should buy some on the way home.
Yes.
Hey, Otis. Did you hear that?
Yeah, what was that?
I don't know. Hey, Jackat. He just came all creeping in out of the damn room. I don't know what he got into. There's no telling. So, for all of you tuning in right now, this may be the last show. This may be the last Tuesday night show ever.
Not the last Triple B.
Correct. See what I did there? I just sucked them in, like, ooh, the gasps. I could hear them through the internet. Like, people are like, no! Yeah. No.
Mag Goff probably choked on his Crown and Coke.
I know, right? Yes. So what is up, everybody? Doug DeLay asking, are you taking payments or one lump sum? Dude, I'm going to hire my Asian brethren, and it's going to be one lump sum, dude. Let me tell you, I'm going to take it all right now. Yeah, yep. And there's going to be some people that get like $45, and they're going to get $45 from me so that they know I didn't forget to give them anything, but I wanted to give them one of these. And then there's going to be a bunch of people that are going to get like the 7-figure, like, hey, and those people already know who they are. And then, like, dude, the phone call between me and Biggin and Lyle and Pete and Mark, like, you know what? Here's one thing I'm going to say is because we're going to get started on what our weekend was like last weekend at Bigunland. Mark Rogers is going to get a billet aluminum wet mod motor block of his design and choosing, and I'll pay him for all of it because that dude is a badass in so many ways that none of you people know, because he's way too quiet unless you know him, and then he's awesome. But yes, so there's going to be lots of stuff. Dude, me and Lyle would be like, it would be the greatest phone call ever because we'd be like, oh my God, what are we getting? And literally, like, we would call Freeman. I would hate to do this because, I mean, no offense to Rich or Freeman, but like, he gets all the real money for everything, like top dollar. Like, and every fiber of my being would be like, no way, I'm not paying top dollar for anything. But we would have all the cool stuff. Like, the baddest rig. We would have 2 pro stockers, 2 pro mods. We would probably end up with a funny car for Cameron Frey to drive and a top fuel dragster. Oh yeah, it'd be awesome.
I would land in DFW tomorrow in a jet that I own.
Yes, exactly. And then we would just go over there and pick all the stuff out of the warehouse.
Yes.
And leave with it. Oh God, I also would give insane amounts of money to charity because you know how we are. But I wouldn't just give money out of my money. I would do that, but I also would like do all the stuff we needed to do to be able to make more money to give away more money. But so for those of you going, dude, Chad, your head is bald. If you didn't see this, so I was at this last weekend, before we get into Bigunland, this last weekend I was at UMI Motorsports Park for the UMI Autocross Challenge, which was the last qualifying event for King of the Mountain, which is a $25,000 purse autocross. It's the biggest money autocross on the planet. So I was there for that. We raise a bunch of money at all of the UMI events. I mean, tens of thousands of dollars a year at their events with charity stuff that we started a few years ago. And it's super fun. So on Friday, I was like, God, I need a haircut so bad. And I didn't have time to get one before I went to UMI. So I get there Friday morning announcing, it's like 10 o'clock in the morning. Bob Bertelsen and a couple other dudes are standing there. And I'm like, I need a haircut so bad. I am going to find myself a barber in this town. And at the lunch break, I'm going to bonsai over, get a quick haircut and come back. And Bertelsen's a weirdo in all the right ways. So Bertelsen's like, no. How much money do you need to shave your head? And I'm like, oh, good call. Now, everybody there like freaked out but I've shaved my head a bunch of times in my life, so it's really not that big a deal. But it's hair. It grows back. I know. I've seen it do it a bunch of times. So anyway, I told them if they could raise $2,000 in addition to all of our other charity auction and raffle and everything else we had going on, that I would let them shave my head any way they wanted. They wanted a mohawk. They wanted UMI in the sides. I don't care. Just do whatever you want. Well, they raised $2,250. And I know, it was awesome. So Bertelsen, because again, he's a weirdo. I love him to death, dude. Bob is good people. He is really good people. But he wanted to do the sideways mohawk. So he literally wanted it to be like the band on my headphones here. Okay. From ear to ear sideways. And then I don't know. And it just sort of evolved from there. So then they decided to take the middle out, and it ended up being these two like pointy things that looked roughly like Ace Ventura in Pet Detective. Okay. And it was pretty entertaining. I'm not going to lie. So everybody loved it. They were all excited. And again, we raised $2,250 for our charity of the event, which every event is a different charity. And they're always specific people with rare exception. And this time it was a young lady named Zoe Bryan who just turned 16. She's got cancer and it's bad. And she's just been fighting the fight. And so we raised like $10,000 between the two charities there this weekend, and it was awesome. And her family are using it not only for some of their medical expenses, but more importantly, her like big wish was to go to Hawaii with her family. Never been. She always wanted to go to Hawaii. So we raised all the money to send them in style as a whole family to Hawaii, and it's going to be awesome. So it was cool. And she rode along in like almost every single car at the event, which was pretty cool, including the guy that took her on her very first lap of the day, looped the car in the first corner up into the grass and all this stuff. Dude, it was awesome. She didn't care. She was totally down. Apparently that was awesome. So yeah, it was pretty funny. So it was a great event. Had a great time. Also, look for some fun stuff coming up. So 2 things. Number 1, I did the tortilla challenge. Okay, with JB Boyer, we did the tortilla challenge, and it was, dude, it was epic. Okay, I mean,
It's
absolutely
so funny.
He had no idea what that was at all, so he thought it was an eating competition, and I'm like, no, and he goes, oh, okay, and we did it, and I mean, dude, it was the if you haven't done the tortilla challenge or you don't know what it is, look it up. It's stupid because you're trying to hold water in your mouth and the first person that spits it out loses. The actual being slapped with the tortilla is not what will knock the water out of your mouth. That's what everybody thinks. It's that it's the dumbest, stupidest thing you've ever done, and it gets you laughing so hard you can't stop from spitting the water. That's the whole deal. You're looking across at another person square in the eye, knowing that you're about to either get slapped or do the slapping, and it's just impossible to do it with a straight face. So I am going to be putting out an announcement and that video here in the next few days. We are going to do something special at King of the Mountain with the tortilla challenge. So it's going to be awesome. So you guys pay attention, stay tuned for that one. It's going to be hilarious. But dude, I am telling you, oh my God, I laughed so hard I thought I was going to die.
Dude, Courtney Enders and I did it at Norwalk.
Yes.
And it was, I mean, it like you just can't help but piss your pants.
Oh yeah,
So
it is.
funny.
It is. And so we Rochambeau'd and JB got to slap me first. And I mean, I'm trying not to spit the water out anyway. We're just laughing. And we had big tortillas. And he hauls off and smacks me with the tortilla. And a bunch of people got slow-mo video of it and everything. It's awesome. Like my belly jiggled and the whole thing. It was rad. And then, and I, of course, like thought I could hold it. And I thought I was good. And then spewed the water everywhere out of my nose. The whole thing. It was awesome. And then JB's like, forget the Rochambeau part. I want you to slap me now because this is just too damn funny. And so I did. And not only did I slap him, but I actually did a practice lineup to make sure I would get no hand on his face, but all the tortilla, right? Which may have been the part that actually caused us to laugh even more because of the we got to be precise here, if we're doing. Oh my God, dude.
Did you fold it? Did you fold it in half?
I did not fold it in half, but it was still a good whack. We both had a red mark on our face. It was pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Neil Sabo in the house. What's up? Stephen Comlos, my dude.
The only thing that Courtney and I did different,
Stephen,
and I think were y'all going to Rochambeau for every hit? Yes.
And that was what we were going to do because a bunch of people did that. But I think you should just do that for the first one and then go one.
See, that's what Courtney and I did. We Rochambeau'd for the first one. And so she got the first one, but then we alternated.
Yeah, that's what I think you should do. I think the Rochambeauing for everyone is stupid because it's not because the hitting is just the funny part. It doesn't matter, Right. Barn in the house. Gerald, Scott, everybody. Thank you.
Speaking of Cameron Ferre, that poor kid just disintegrated about a quarter of his fucking dragster the other night.
Dude.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, and he wasn't alone. There were a bunch of big explosions in Denver, dude. A bunch.
But the air was stupid good in Sonoma.
Right. Well, and that's the thing though. So everybody went to Denver and then, they went to, Denver first, then Sonoma, and then now up to Seattle. So in Denver, everybody was blowing stuff up. Then Sonoma, more blowing stuff up. Again, the air has been so good that, everybody is just trying to kill everything. And dude, that Terry Haddock race car, it was a no good, let me tell you. I guarantee you he was feeling that one the next day.
Yeah. I have got something in my eye.
Your finger.
And then and then Brittany Force was on the complete opposite end. Freaking Grubby just tunes her to the ET and speed record there. You know.
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
Well, she's like, the other day they had a thing like the like 7 of the 10 quickest and fastest top fuel passes in history are her. Yeah.
Now it's 9. Now it's the top. Now it's 9 of the top 10.
There you go. Yes. Yeah. I mean, she's a badass. And quite frankly, my opinion, she's the best force. Right? Like, nothing against Ashley and Courtney, but I think that Brittany, as the youngest one, and quite frankly, the one that was treated like, I don't know, second fiddle for a very long time, I think she's got more drive, more passion for it. She's the most genuine, like, just nice to be around.
Well, she's by far got more racer in her than the others. By far.
Definitely. And good for her, dude. She's doing a hell of a job. I mean, she's driving the car. The truth of the matter is, I want to see her in a funny car because I think that she'd be a badass in a funny car as well. I think she's the driver her dad thinks he is. So, I think it'd be good.
I just don't know if you'll ever see her leave a dragster.
I don't think so. Not until or if the old man retires. Then that could be a possibility, but I mean, she's owning the world in it, so why would she? Speaking of owning the world, when they're going to start tying like an extra parachute to the back of Erica's car and making her leave the starting line with it out.
Double E does it again.
Zach, how many is that? 9 wins this season?
Well, no, because I think they've raced 9, right? Or they raced more than that. That's probably about right.
Yeah.
She's won, I think I think that's 7. She's won 7 of 9 or 6 of 9 or something like that.
Let me look. I'm looking at it.
Because Pro Stocks race less than Fuel and Funny Car.
Let's see. 6th of the season.
Yeah.
Her 6th win of the season.
And her 7th final round. She's
she's
only not been to one final.
Yeah, and the bad thing is that with bad, I mean, not bad. It's good for drag racing entertainment, but her points lead really isn't going to matter. It's a show, right? A force, but the truth of the matter is they go to the damn, countdown anyway. So,
which starts here in Charlotte.
Yes, so it really doesn't matter as long as you're in the top 10 or whatever it is. But that momentum, that intimidation factor, the bragging rights, all those things matter for, her sponsors.
Yeah, last year she didn't have just a standout year. The Elite as a whole struggled a little bit in the performance department. Well, not necessarily. They just got outperformed by KB for most of the year. And Erica she would admit it if she was on here, just did not drive her best.
Nope.
But this year, dude,
she was inconsistent last year on the tree compared to her normal when she's on fire. And anybody that was around her last year knows that pissed her off. Yeah, she is very serious about driving a race car.
But this year, dude, there is nobody better. On her worst day, there's nobody better than her driving a Pro Stock car right now. Nobody.
Right.
It is unbelievable how good she is.
Well, and I mean, they just have everything, is all of the stars are aligning right now for them.
Well, that, and she, and she's like me. When she's confident, you cannot touch her,
right.
And I think last year she was off just a bit, but she also lacked a little bit of confidence, and I think that a combination of those things, she just didn't have her best year, but if she continues. I think
that also she got rattled last year, which is not her normal. Because of that lack of confidence, there were a few races last year where somebody did something weird on the starting line or what have you, and it threw her, or where she got mad and then she wasn't as good. And that's just not the norm. It's like I tell people all the time, when we're talking about you, and we were talking about that this last weekend or weekend before at Mooresville, there are a lot of people that you get them pissed off and they shoot themselves in the foot. I will say it again right here, and I've said it a bunch of times. a pissed off Lyle Barnett is a very dangerous Lyle Barnett. So, I mean, we are, you and I have, nobody's going to claim that we don't get fired up on occasion on the starting line. And I'll tell you what, we are a dangerous combo when that shit happens. So be fair warned. But speaking of, so beer money.
Yeah.
The old girl, well, you said it earlier. Well, hold on, let's start off. So the weekend before last, I flew into into Charlotte to come hang out with you and Biggin and Mark and Pete and Jason. The TBM trailer up for the 704 Outlaws race there at Mooresville Dragway, and for the no prep race that they had the next day. So both Friday and Saturday were big race days, which was pretty cool. We had a great time. We did our normal. We worked on cars and drank a lot of beer and just goofed off like idiots, and it was awesome. But on Friday, we were not supposed to be racing beer money in the 704 Outlaws race.
No, we weren't.
But then we decided to.
Yes, we did.
And you were saying that the starter was screwed up on the car, so you had stopped at O'Reilly's and picked up a generic LS starter. For those that don't know, beer money is currently powered by a aluminum LS3 block with aftermarket crank rods and pistons, a set of masked black label cylinder heads. It has a Holley Sniper intake manifold still on it, a giant ish turbocharger from Precision Turbo, and a bunch of HED up arrow in all the right places.
And Holley EFI.
Oh, yes. Lots of Holley EFI going because Pete built a motor that did something new this time. Besides making all the powers, going through a Turbo 400 and into the original 8.8 that we narrowed on the TV show. So you said the starter was messed up, and you were complaining because you had bought a fancy starter and it wasn't working. So we bolted the new starter in, when by we, I mean you, and I stood there looking at you, and then we tried to start it, and it wouldn't. At which point, James, who works for Pete and is always hanging out with beer money, and the crew, went under there and was looking, and he was like, oh, yeah, while we were trying to hit the key, or the start button, as case may be, and to see if it was trying to engage or not. And it looked like the starter was crooked. And I said, well, then something's wrong, but unbolt it and let's see if it finds its home, and then we'll tighten it back up. It was then that we realized that the entire corner of the block that holds the starter was no longer attached to the rest of it. This started a Biggin under the car welding it back together, which resulted in us then going to the race and breaking it again. And then getting it, oh, no, this was Friday. Yes. Then it broke, again. We took it back to the shop. We took it all apart. Biggin built a much bigger, fancier, tricker thing holding the corner of the block on. And it was bad.
Chingus.
It was a definite, precision engineered Chingus. And the end result is we went to the final on Saturday, but in order to start the car, we literally had to have a giant pry bar and people on the top and the bottom holding the starter and the aforementioned chunk of the block up tight enough for it to turn the flywheel to get it to start. And it was awesome. And we thought, hell yeah, it worked. It worked. And we were like, ta-da! We can do no wrong. We're in the final. And then all the stuff fell out.
Yeah, it twisted the drive shaft in half.
In half. Not at one end, in half. In the middle.
And thank God Biggin builds a really nice Driveshaft loop.
Oh yeah.
Because when that thing came loose, like I have the CO2 bottle mounted to the factory Driveshaft tunnel in the car so that I can turn it on and off. And when this was all said and done, that was up against the door, and the water tank, which we circulate some water through the heads, was detached from the floor, caved in the bottom, and it was pouring its contents out in the floorboard.
Which would have been bad, except that didn't even remotely, count when you considered how much transmission fluid was also puking.
Correct. So we put it, that was in the final. Corey Cox went on to win. Would have been a pretty good race to the finish line for sure. But I pulled over before the finish line to keep from littering the shutdown. And we very quickly threw everything in the trailer, shoved it in the trailer, took everything back. Chad, Melissa, baby Nash, my dad and Tammy went and ate some Mexican. Chad, you flew out the next morning, or the next afternoon, should I say. And
Yeah.
I haven't touched the car since then. I spent last week at home because I'd spent so much time at the shop the week before trying to get the car ready. Melissa and I took a little mini vacation down to Lake Burton this past weekend. And today I decided I'm going to get it out and see just how much damage it did. Wow.
Now, what did you say about Pete?
Well, so it was then when I pulled the transmission out today. And the bell housing, which is an SFI bell housing, was cracked in 3 different places, all running in different directions. So
by the way, it had 2 cracks in it on Friday night that we welded up on Saturday morning. So,
yes.
Yeah.
So then we proceed to notice that the starter is now again being held up by the diaper. And what I realized today is that Pete Harrell and Jay Wiles and Jesse and James and Fish, what I've realized is that HED builds such a good engine that it eats itself from the outside in instead of from the inside out.
Yeah.
Name an engine builder that can do that.
Yeah.
Pete Harrell.
Yeah.
That's it. He's the only one.
Yeah, because the block is so afraid that it's like, no, dude, I'm out. And the inside's like, hey, we're good, dude. Pete, love this. It's fine. Yeah. The outside's like, hell no, I'm out.
So now it's cracked through the bolt holes in the back of the block and the dowel. So we're on crossroads here. Fixable, yes, because Pete and Biggin can turn complete trash into, beer money. But
exactly.
The right thing to do to fix that block, debatable. So we're going to make some decisions here over the next day. And because we've got some big races coming up that I don't want to miss. So we're going to make some decisions here. I've got parts to order tomorrow to at least get the transmission back fixed. We'll make a decision on the block. So it's been an interesting past week and a half for Beer Money. Beer Money went from winning every race that it entered for the most part to literally trying to kill me.
Yeah.
In a matter of a week and a half.
But in its last run on Friday night, when it tore all kinds of shit up before this round of tearing shit up, where it broke, it somehow lost both dowels out of the block. This was before the really bad, and got a magic vibration, and the starter fell off, literally dragging down the racetrack. A bunch of things. It also ran its quickest quickest ever. We're not going to tell you what that is.
No.
But it's
because the NHRA would send me a summons to surrender the car.
Correct.
We talked about how fast it actually.
Yeah, it is.
I bet there's nobody that would guess within a tenth.
Oh, I agree. And all it does though too, like we've gotten, just so everybody knows, the beater bomb and all the guys associated with that car, like we know those guys well. They're awesome. We competed against them in the 10K drag shootout. That Mustang is bad to the bone, and let's make no mistake, it is stupid fast. They have a ton of time tuning and racing that car over the years. When Joe passed away, they took that car and took it to the chassis shop and put a full chassis in that thing, and made it a much safer, much better race car, which we totally approve of. No, not griping about that at all. We love those guys, and we would love to race them. And it has been mentioned to them a million times, and it has been mentioned to us a million times. And know that neither of us are trying not to race each other. It's just a very long way from Kansas, like Kansas City to Mooresville. And that's where these two cars do their, primary amount of doing stuff. So at some point, I'm sure we'll figure a way to meet somewhere in the middle for some racing, but know that those dudes are badasses, and we would race them anytime. I would have zero hesitation. I know you don't either, Lyle. We would go run them. And in fact, their idea of a small tire and ours is different. We're in two camps on that, and which, is a point for debate that we're not here to talk about right now. But they're a 29 1050 small tire camp, and we're a 28 1050 small tire camp. And make no mistake, while a 29 1050 is a cool tire, we believe it's a big tire because it is considerably larger than a 28 1050 in actual dimensions. And the other thing is, it won't fit on beer money.
And I told him, because Joey and I have talked about it, because we do want to do it. We're not, the fans want to see it. And he and I want to race. He and I want to race each other. And he told me he would put 28s on, and when I make the changes to beer money to fit a 29, should I outrun him on the 28, I will give him his race on the 29s when I get them on.
Right. Yeah, and I think it would be fun to do both. I think it would be fun to race them on, we race each other on each other's tire at a different, you know what I mean? I think it'd be cool. And again, those dudes are badasses. They, that car, man, has been printing checks for a very long time.
He's in the money.
That doubts it,
he's in the money 95% of the places. He is like us out here. They literally are in the money everywhere they go, everywhere.
100%. And you know what? They're cocky about it. Like you have to be when you're racing no prep stuff, but rightfully so. I hate it when somebody's just a shit talker for no good reason. They got nothing to back it up. That's annoying, right? But guys that can back it up, dude, they do. And quite frankly, they're kind of, they're kind of the dry smartass, about that. They're like, we'll race anybody, bring your money, and their confidence is they've earned it, so that car is badass. Beater Bomb is no longer like Beater Bomb. In fact, it's funny because we've had this conversation about doing upgrades on beer money and would people get mad and whatever. Well, dude, Beater Bomb used to be a beater piece. You know what I mean? It was just a pile of random shit, and it got faster and faster. Well, that car is no longer, there's nothing beater about that thing anymore, and it still has a cult following, and it's awesome,
Right.
So,
well, that's a good poll to take. Like, I've bought a bunch of fiberglass for beer money. I've got a 9-inch coming for it. Like I'm in the process of doing some things, but I would really like to know from people who watch it if they feel like it would lose its luster.
Yeah.
And the spirit of it if I start changing it like that. Because we've talked about building another car and putting beer money, on the backside of the track stuff, and maybe even some drag and drive. And, and while I think that's cool, not only myself, but Chad and Biggin and Pete, we've all worked pretty hard to build a brand around this thing. And I don't want it to just kind of, not that it would go to the wayside, but I don't want to lose focus on it by building
Right.
something else. I would prefer to just continue on with it, but I don't know.
Yeah, and I think, we've talked about the other car, the gold car, etc. There's a bunch of other things that are, will be coming down the pipe sooner rather than later if I win the Mega Millions tonight. There's still, we got to do some upgrades to beer money. There's going to have to be, but we want it to still be beer money. I mean, God, it's such a pile. You guys have no idea. Like all the parts that need to work really good are awesome. But they are awesome because Biggin fabricated them to the nth degree. Mags, torque boxes that are badass. Those kinds of things. It is not badass because it just is pretty. I mean, the whole nose on the car is held together with duct tape and zip tie. Lots of zip ties, dude. Lots of zip ties. Lots of zip ties. Boggs was under the front of it at Biggin's the other morning. And he was like, "Oh, this bolt's loose." I'm like, "It's fine. It's not attached to anything anymore." And he's like, "What?" I go, "Yeah, it just bolted to the piece that it's on. It's fine." And there's still about $500 worth of ARP fasteners in that thing that are not doing anything except adding some weight where we need it. It's awesome. There is this plate in the front that got all bent down from one of the escapades of hitting something. And so Boggs took a giant hammer to it. And I'm like, "I'll just beat the shit out of it. It'll get where it needs to be. It's fine." And he was hesitant for a second until he started swinging on it. And then it felt good. So he just hit the hell out of it. It was great. So, it's things like that. It's fine.
Hey, before we forget, because we started to talk about it earlier and we got sidetracked. That was like 45 minutes ago. But we're going to go from Tuesday nights to Tuesday afternoons.
Yes.
Is all we're doing. Because it's with the baby, and when I have just limited time after work to work on beer money and then come home and help Melissa with the baby, it's tough for me to come home and then just jump out in the garage for an 8:00 Eastern time podcast. So we're going to start doing them at I don't know, maybe 3 to 4 in the afternoon. On Tuesdays instead. Those of you in the comments, if you're like, "No, that would suck because I can't watch it, live or whatever," we want to hear that. Because if that doesn't seem like a good idea, then we will try to keep it where it's at. But Wes and Mike and JT seem to have decent success with theirs on Wednesday afternoons. So we feel like that we could do it. Obviously, we don't want to compete with theirs at all because we're kind of a part of their deal. So we're thinking about moving it to the afternoon to make it scheduling wise easier for the both of us. So as long as you guys.
And I mean, if you guys said, 3 to 4, Eastern is not good, it'd be better from 2 to 3 or something. Give us your suggestions, okay? But we're going to make it be in the afternoon. Look at it this way. It's a break from work. And if your boss doesn't like it, then tell him that I'll send him a note that'll have some really nice choice words. That'll be fine.
Yeah. And when we win the lottery, we'll just help you retire for a year.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be fine. I think that there are a couple of pictures though that I need to share from this last weekend. So hold on, I'm gonna share a couple of pictures from the races. And the shenanigans at Biggin's house too, which were too damn funny. So for those that don't know or have never been to Biggin's place, you guys have to understand that this, Biggin's shop and house and everything is all on this one piece of property with HED and all of this. That's all Bigun's property. And so we have a side-by-side track, a go-kart track, too many driveways to count, and I don't even know how many motorized vehicles, Bigun's shop, the chassis dyno at HED and HED, and I don't know what else, but it's Bigun's whole house, which is Party Central. So it is kind of crazy when you go to Bigun's. Yeah. It really is. Yeah. And it's pure entertainment. So I'm gonna share a couple of our pictures from this weekend. You guys will like these. And including there's a couple of photos of Nasty Nash D. That is not Nasty Nash D. This is Jason Smith. This is how we roll with the Bojangles. That is one of 2 giant boxes of Bojangles, by the way, that we consumed on Saturday. This is Bigun's shop. This is a good one. Mel will love this one. This is Lyle being a chair while Mel changes the baby. This one was one of mine. I like this one. This one made me happy. Not gonna lie. So Bojangles. Mark, he was tired. It was a long night. There was a funny video that goes with this that Lyle and I don't know. I have to watch it again to see, because Lyle and I were laughing hysterically. It was good. This is how many guys does it take to put fluid in the car? So Bigun, Josh Udi in the house. Of course, Jason. Boggs over there reaching. It's this big stretch. Lyle's under the car. James is under the car. James is like all sweaty and nasty, puts a brand new t-shirt on and proceeds to roll around under the car 5 minutes later and ruin another brand new t-shirt. It was epic. And Nash D in the seat in Beer Money. Notice the aforementioned CO2 bottle and water tank that are back there. That's where they started, but they were no longer there after
they were forcefully removed.
Yeah, after the Driveshaft loop saved everything but that. So just a couple of little ones. Oh, here's Mark's car on the dyno. We dynoed 3 cars.
3 cars.
Yes, 3 cars while we were there on the chassis dyno at HED, which is awesome. So yeah, lots of fun. It was a good time. Have to give major kudos to Bigun. In fact, I'm going to be doing a Facebook post about this. I was thinking about it today. Not only do we have a great time at Bigun's house, but the truth of the matter is Bigun is responsible for bringing together all of us. Like all of the people that are at like all these events. It's Bigun is the thing that like brought all of us together, right? Because every one of us was friends with Bigun and then brought our friends into that circle or whatever. And so I met Mark through Bigun years ago now. We were talking about that this week. Pete, you, Bailey, Nanner, Fuckwad, all those guys. I mean,
Jason Smith. I didn't know Jason Smith at all until we went to Horsepower Wars.
Right. And I knew Jason, but didn't know Jason. Knew who he was, all those things, but he and I never hung out. All of that is because of that. The Swedes, the circle is huge and it all revolves at some level around Bigun. And it's awesome. So, okay. Rod says he can't watch until he gets off work. Okay. Scott Liggett says he can't watch it live at work, but he misses it half the time anyway, so it doesn't matter. He can watch it when he gets home. Charles Wickham. Bojangles breakfast kicks ass. Bojangles fried chicken tastes like ass. I've never had Bojangles fried chicken. I've only had Bojangles
What?
breakfast.
Like, Wickman, you're an idiot. Nothing about Bojangles fried chicken tastes like ass. That's the
There
dumbest
you
thing
go.
I've ever heard.
I have only had Bojangles for breakfast, and I like it. Their tater things, those big giant, they're like a giant version of a Burger King hash brown. They're awesome. I love them.
Bow rounds, baby.
Bow rounds, yes. Bow rounds and Cajun fries, dude. Cajun fries are all that.
They are good.
I do like me some Zaxby's too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. If I've got to choose between the two, I'm choosing Bojangles.
Okay, there you go.
Nothing over Chick-fil-A though. Lord's chicken trumps it all.
Lord's chicken. I like Chick-fil-A. Don't send me hate mail, you rat bastards. I like Chick-fil-A. I will eat Chick-fil-A anytime it is available. But I literally don't ever go to Chick-fil-A on my own. Mostly because the line is 746 miles long every time.
Yeah, I mean, like that whole craze that went around for a while where people were talking about Popeye's chicken being, but y'all are insane. Insane. Now, it was between Popeye's and Bojangles.
Oh, okay.
But that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Popeye's
chicken.
I have only eaten Popeye's chicken a handful of times, and it was what I would call average.
At best.
Yeah. I think that Cane's, I think Raising Cane's it's as good as Chick-fil-A. I said it, and I meant it. Now, Chick-fil-A, I only eat their sandwiches, and they're lovely. I like them.
Yeah, there's not anything that I've had from Chick-fil-A that wasn't pretty damn good.
Oh, Joseph Boyer on right now. Dude, JB, I talked about our tortilla challenge, and the video will be up this week. So JB, he and his lovely wife, they own a restaurant. Well, she owns a restaurant. He is allowed to talk about it. Okay, so Lyle, do you know the difference between chili and chili sauce when you're talking about on a hot dog? So chili sauce is like no beans or any of that. It's more like sloppy Joe a little bit. Okay.
Yep.
It's got a little sweetness. Okay, so dude, I would kill JB in his sleep to marry his wife just for her chili sauce. I am not gonna lie. Shh, don't listen, JB. It's fine. I love you, dude. I love you. She makes insane chili sauce. Her pimento cheese, which by the way, JB lasted 2 days. Her pimento cheese is awesome. That woman makes nothing that isn't epic. And by the way, like the restaurant's a pizza place, but she makes all this other stuff. It's awesome. So yes. Charles Wickham says Raising Cane's toast. Yes, because it's Texas toast. That's good. I give you that one. Rod Hagen says Popeyes is better than KFC. Okay, no. I grew up with Kentucky Fried Chicken, or as it is called in my family and forever will be, Colonel Chicken. Because that's what, when I was a little kid, it was Colonel Chicken. I didn't know, because it was the Colonel. So, whatever. Brian Pico says we need a new sponsor. Yes. What we need to do is the chicken challenge. Like, how everybody's been doing the beer one where you drink the beer, it's hidden in the box, and see if you can pick the beer.
Yeah.
I think I could do that one pretty good, or at least it would be funny. I think we should do that with fried chicken.
Well, apparently we need Wickman to come, because at some point in his life he's ate ass that tastes like fried chicken. So
that's true. Yeah, dude. Now hold on. Now there's something. Ass that tastes like fried chicken. Hey. I'm in. Okay. That's a whole other thing here. Okay. Fried chicken that tastes like ass and ass that tastes like fried chicken. 2 different things. Okay. Let's not forget that.
That's fair.
All right. You're home.
Well, actually, I'm at the convenience store because I'm going in to buy Mega Millions before.
Oh, yes. Well, that's fine. It's 7:55. It's time to be done anyway. Okay, so remember, people, next week we are going to do the show between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, and that will be Tuesday, again, 3 to 4 Eastern. Lyles will be doing it from Modern Racing, which the other added bonus of that is we both may be in places where you get to see cool things, which would be fun.
Sure.
Doug DeLay hit me up tomorrow. Brian Pico agrees with me on ass that tastes like fried chicken. Charles Wickham says Babe's fried chicken. Dude, Charles, other people don't understand. Babe's fried chicken is the best fried chicken on earth, period. There is no argument. I'll show you when you're here next time, Lyles. But yeah, that's a whole other thing. So Tuesday, 3 to 4 Eastern will be our next show. To everybody that joined us, anybody needs beadlocks, MacFab Performance Beadlocks. Oh, by the way, if you're looking for beadlocks for things that aren't your drag car, I heard a rumor. That could be a thing. Just saying. Maybe. If you want the only big wheel beadlocks on the planet that actually work and are badass, MacFab. 24s, no problem. 26s?
26s? Gotcha. Yep.
All
and
in.
Anything in between.
Yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Chad, I'm going to inbox you. I have a couple of questions. Okay, no problem, Nick Deal. I appreciate it. Anybody that's been watching us always at night, we appreciate that. We don't want to lose you if you cannot watch live during the day. We understand. Obviously, you can watch the replay of this on our YouTube channel anytime. It's on the bankshift.com YouTube channel. There's a bunch of other fun stuff that we have coming up. I am getting dangerously close to having a shop I can actually park things in.
Yes.
That's going to be awesome. Got the last window in today. So I have to put the man doors in and then it's sealed, which is nice. So, it's getting there. It's been hell and you guys don't know half of it. You don't even know 10% of it. Lyle does. But it's been crazy. So, yeah, we're getting there. But everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Tell Mel Bell I said hello there, Mr. Barnett. And go buy a winning lottery ticket. I'm going to go buy one as well. And trust me, all of you people want us to win because we're going to be more fun if we're cajillionaires.
Fact.
Fact.
All right. See ya.
See ya.